Hi, good morning. We're here with Neil Greer from Easy Apps. How you doing, Neil?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, you?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Thanks very much for joining us this morning. Looking
Oh, thank
forward
you.
to the interview and learning more about you and what you do. So if you could give us a little bit of an introduction and tell us a bit more about who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it for, please.
Okay, yeah. Well, my business is Yorkshire Apps Limited, and I trade as Easy Apps. I'm one of about 300 global Easy Apps franchises. Been doing it about 4 years. And really what I do is offer a few solutions that help small to medium-sized businesses sell more online or become more efficient. So it's all about the bottom line and them earning money. And the key solutions are websites that are nice and up to date and fast and do everything that Google wants to get high in the rankings. And the bit that I focus on the most are mobile apps. And these can be, marketing apps that help companies sell more, or some of them are what I would describe as an internal app, which drives efficiencies through a business. So been doing it 4 years, love it. Previous to that, I was in the telecoms industry for 20 odd years and hated it. So
Going it alone is something that you found that you like, yeah?
I love it. I mean, the beauty of what I do is that the Easy Apps or the Easy Business group are fantastic. The support they give is second to none. Anything I want technically or just little questions, advice, they're there and they're fantastic. I can't sing the praises highly enough, and it just makes my life so much easier.
Fantastic. So that 4 years that you've been going, what makes you kind of stand out from other people in that very competitive space in terms of the app development? And it's a bit of a minefield as well, isn't it, when you're looking to get apps, and where do you start, who do you go with, different advice? It's what makes you guys kind of the choice for the people that you work with?
Yeah, well, I got into this because I had a harebrained idea of an app that I wanted building, and I got quoted 100,000.
Yeah.
And that was the starting point. And I thought, well, there must be a simpler way. And after a bit of looking around, I came across the Easy Apps franchise. And in a nutshell, what we do is we offer the types of solutions that major brands spend hundreds of thousands of pounds on. And we do it at a price point that works for SMEs. And if I give you a couple of quick examples, most of McDonald's advertising recently has been about their app. And the reason for that is because it's going to drive their delivery business, and it gives them a relationship with the customer so they can sell more to them. And of course, they're spending millions of pounds probably on that particular app. Well, I can produce something very, very similar for a small business at a very low price point, that shows a fantastic return on investment and probably pays for itself within a couple of months. The other example everybody knows is Amazon. Something like 90% of Amazon customers actively use their app. It's simple, it's easy. We all know why. It's a button on the mobile. You click on it and you order whatever you want, and it comes the next day. And again, very, very simple solution that I can deliver for a small business at a fraction of the millions of pounds that they spend. But it's a budget that fits SMEs. And works for them. And those aren't the only things that I do, but the key thing is the way that we build apps works for SMEs, and it doesn't scare them price wise, but it delivers as good a solution as the major brands get, and which is what customers want.
Excellent. Sort of out of the box solution, I guess, without being too complicated or expensive.
Yeah.
So what's your business journey been like today in the 4 years that you've been going? How's that been? What words would you use to describe that?
Yeah, it's been interesting. That's for sure.
Interesting.
Obviously started off knowing about telecoms.
Yeah.
Got into this knowing nothing, spent 6 months trying to figure out what I was doing, and gradually got the hang of it, and built apps for people that I knew, and won a bit of business, and really started to understand what I was doing. And then of course COVID hit, and as a new business starting up, that was a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
And the other thing was, I suppose I came into this expecting to build the types of apps that I described before, the food ordering apps, the marketing apps for online retailers. And I do that, but it's probably not the biggest part of my business. What I found is I build what I would describe as an internal app for a business. And this is a big part of what I do at the moment. It's about taking things that they're doing and doing them slightly differently. So construction companies and civil engineering companies who fill lots of forms in when they go to sites, they now build those into an app for them, which saves them fortune in terms of time and printing. I'm doing things for education where they want to engage with the staff and get them to sign policies and have their well-being information, and healthcare ones where they've got all the training in there. So it's been an interesting journey. It's where I am today isn't quite where I thought I was going to be, but it's better than I thought, to be perfectly honest. There's so much opportunity there. And the other thing is, I never envisaged that I'd be building websites at the start. And, I do that now. And over the last couple of years, particularly, we've got a great platform that when I open it up and show people the back end and show them how easy it is to make their updates when the website's live, people love it. So I hadn't even thought about doing websites, and it's part of the franchise that I signed up to, and it's great. So it's been a great journey. I had some challenges with COVID and what have you, but I couldn't be happier, that's for sure.
Fantastic. What does the future look like then? I mean, it's positive from what you've been saying now. And what do you see as the main challenges are to navigate when realizing that future?
Very, very positive. 4 years in, I really know some key target markets where I can, can really show examples, a really good return on investment, and I know I can win business. I suppose the challenge at the minute is the same challenge for most businesses, that we've hit a bit of a cost of living crisis. We've got companies that are, looking to cut costs. And I was watching the telly the other night, and Deborah Meaden gave some great advice, and she said, yes, cut costs, but don't cut costs that are business generating costs. So don't cut your marketing and your sales costs. And I suppose where I sit, what I'm offering businesses is a great way of marketing and selling more. And that in itself puts me in a nice position. So yeah, it might be a little bit harder to find some types of business, but there's plenty out there. And when you look at the growth in mobile commerce, it's grown 80% since 2016, and is forecast to continue growing at a similar rate, if not faster. So all these businesses that are looking at ways of generating sales and more sales, well, this is what they need to do: is embrace mobile commerce, and so that's having a mobile-enabled website and having an app where you can really build that relationship with a customer. So I see it as a really, really positive future. We might have a tough year, but I've got enough of my kit bag, as it were, to have something for everybody.
That's a good attitude. I think there's plenty of opportunity out there. You just might have to, look in a few different places or demonstrate what you do in a slightly different way in order for people to be more receptive to finding the benefits in the circumstances that we find ourselves in. So
yeah,
great stuff. Moving on to yourself then, as a business owner, and asking you about your one lesson, biggest learning you've had. If there's one that you can choose since you've been operating, what would that be?
It is about being flexible. Don't come into anything with fixed ideas. Be flexible. Be aware of things changing. COVID, for example, it was nobody saw that coming. Or perhaps some people did, but it's a case of, if you're flexible, if you're not set in your ways, and you've got you're prepared to look at different opportunities and different ideas, then that's the key for me. Is always being open to ideas, listening to people, and being ready for a challenge and ready to change if need be. Yeah.
Good share. Thank you very much for that. So in terms of offering advice to someone just starting out in business, or perhaps yourself, and say, going back and in hindsight, if there's a piece of advice that you would give or take when starting out, what would that be? Yeah,
I mean, my advice to any small business would be, or new business would be, to have a business plan. Make sure you've written down what you're trying to achieve, who you wanted to sell it to. Understand your figures. Cash flow is important. If you understand your cash flow and really understand it and forecast it. I forecast, and I always have done, 3 years in advance, and it was my accountant who got me to do that when I set my first business up 20 years ago. If you understand that, and you've got the funding in place, and you know where the funding's coming from right from the start, then you're in with a shout. And we see lots of businesses not surviving in the early years. And it really is because they've gone into it with a bit of a wing and a prayer, and don't understand, you know, what they're selling, where they're selling it, and what the you know, the implications are in terms of the cash flow. Yeah.
Brilliant. Sounds like you got a good accountant there, because looking into the future as opposed to into the past, and it being a little bit too late.
Well, we're right back at the beginning when I was a bit green, and I met my accountant, and we put together the plans, and we sat with the bank manager arranging funding. You know, myself and my business partner at the time, we argued about everything. About everything. No, we didn't want to do it their way. And do you know what? Yeah. The accountants talked us round, and the bank manager did, and everything was put together in such a professional way that, you know, when I look back on it after a couple of years, I thought their advice was spot on. And you know, so I've learned from that, and hopefully I can pass that on to other people.
Excellent. Yeah, another great share. Thank you for that. So what inspires you to do what you do? It could be anything that you read, that you listen to. It could be friends, family, your customers, or just personally, you know, that you get a kick out of what you do. What's kind of inspiration that you use?
Yeah, there's a few things. I mean, in terms of doing what I do, I love it. I enjoy it. It's you know, it's something that was different to anything that I've done in the past. I've got some great clients that I really enjoy talking to, and you know, I speak on a regular basis. So we have that relationship that perhaps I never had back in my telecoms days. But one of the things that really makes a difference that I love is, you know, I'm part of this big franchise group, and every fortnight we have a partner call, and there's probably 30 or 40 people who join that call from all over the world, and share ideas. And there's usually somebody that will present a website or an app that they've recently built and published. And you know, there's never a time when I come off that call and I haven't learned something or got something out of it. And it's you know, I always believe in sharing ideas and networking with people, and you know, that makes a big difference. It's fantastic.
Brilliant. Yeah, that kind of working together, sort of ethos and learning in there, and yeah, relationship building, all those kind of things makes for a fulfilled business journey, I think.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, in terms of lastly then, and sharing any latest news around what you're up to, or even if it's just a website or places that we can go to find out a bit more about what you do, what you're up to, feel free.
Yeah. Well, you know, anyone get in touch. I'm always here for advice, and part of my journey with a client is usually just having a chat and giving them a bit of advice and sharing some ideas and discussing what they're trying to achieve. I can't always do it, and I'm honest, but I'll point them in the right direction. But I suppose the thing is, you know, if people want to get hold of me, my website is an easy apps /Yorkshire Apps. It's hard to find, so I have a nice little landing page, showmemyapp.co.uk, and all my contact details are on there. But one of the things I'm doing at the moment for people, and this is something we launched last year, is and I do this for the first 5 businesses every month. I run them a nice free, what I call an online snapshot report, and it looks at everything they do online. So, is the website working? Is it fast? Do Google like it? How are they comparing against the competitors? What they're doing on social media? Have they got plenty of Google reviews or good reviews on other sites? How's that compared to the competition? Are all the listing sites accurate? And it pulls all that information together, and it's a fantastic report that can really help people look at, you know, they might be fantastic and everything, very few are, but it'll give them the answers that they need to improve if that's what they want. So I'm doing that, you know, this month and next month, free of charge. It costs me a bit of money, and they take about 24 hours to run these reports. They're quite in depth, so it's something new, it's something different. People seem to love it, so it's there if people would like it, if they like to take me up on that offer.
Fantastic, Neil. Been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for sharing all that you have, and I wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.